Hi, everybody. I am here with Kim Noeth. She is the founder of Birth Moms Today, and she has a very important ministry that she has that we need to know about, and the word needs to be spread. So, hi, Kim.
Hi, Cindy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Tell us about your ministry and how it got started.
Sure. Well, I run a ministry called Birth Moms Today. And Birth Moms Today is a support group for women that have placed a child for adoption. I placed a child many years ago and was fortunate enough to be reunited. And when I went online to reach out to other women that might have had similar experiences, I found out that a whole lot hasn't changed in the adoption industry. And I started a support group online. And through that support group, I began to learn that, these women were not receiving post-adoption care even all these years later. So I became very passionate about, reaching out to agencies and creating awareness and ensuring that when a woman places a child for adoption, that she's met with proper post-adoption care afterwards. And I also have a real passion to change how society views these women because there's really still a big stigma around, when a woman places a child and how she's judged for that. And it's sad, especially because we provide lots of resources for parenting. We provide a lot of education around abortion. And when a woman chooses adoption, there's not a whole lot for her to find out, especially initially. And it's not until she goes through it that she really knows how she, individually is going to respond. And that's why I feel that the post-adoption care is so important because this is a very complex thing, when you place a child. It's
Yes.
not something that goes away, after placement. As a matter of fact, you have to live with it your whole life. And living with the knowledge that another family is raising your child, it's a situation that requires a lot of support and understanding.
So, what do you do to meet those needs?
Well, like I said, I first started this support group and there was just a couple of women, and now there's almost 2,000.
Wow.
And they're all telling the same story, and it's sad because when I reach out to the agencies, they feel they're providing adequate support. And some are rising to the occasion, but I don't think there's yet a full understanding of how personalized the support needs to be. As a matter of fact, I had a client recently, and when we spoke together, she placed maybe 15 years ago, and she's been in therapy since. And what she said to me, and what I've heard from a lot of these women, is that, they don't always know how to help me. And she's like, in just talking to you for an hour, you get it. You get me. You understand because you're another woman that has had the same experience. And there's something really, beneficial in that, especially when you come to the other side. And that's where, I really feel like I am able to encourage these women in a different way because I placed many years ago. And I've worked through a lot of the healing that's really necessary in order to be able to move forward in life and, not feel stuck in the circumstances that maybe even caused placement to begin with.
So, what you offer is somebody that can really understand the depth and the complexity of what they're going through.
Well, that's,
They're not alone. And then you
yeah.
can also give practical tips. You can encourage them with healing. You can direct them to different places. That sounds wonderful.
Yes, and I started some local support groups in my area in Pennsylvania. And that's where I really discovered, Cindy, that this is a very private matter. And people are not always ready to heal on a Wednesday night because you're holding a meeting. It's not something they necessarily want to reopen. So I created this workshop online and I created a whole bunch of lessons and modules and a whole environment where women can come, they can receive the help they need, and they can do it in the privacy of their own home.
Oh, that's
And what I love about the post-adoption journey is that an agency can offer it to their birth mother, and maybe she's not going to utilize it the first year or two, but she has a lifetime to go in there and to discover. And when she's ready to heal and ready to work on it, there's stuff there to help her work through it. There's resources there that she can, use. And that's why I feel, it's so much more suited today, being online and being private. And then, I also have the online support group, and I offer one-on-one coaching calls which that's where the heart of this really is, and that's one thing that I hope the adoption industry begins to open up to is coaching. There's great therapists and there's great counselors, but there's something really beneficial in speaking to someone who knows where you've been through, who's also a life coach. And that's what I bring into the, post-adoption industry today, is just that coaching and that love and care and encouragement specifically for, the birth mothers.
Well, Kim, you offer a lot. How much do you charge for this?
Well, my prices are really based on what I'd like to see is I'd like to see agencies pick up this cost, because birth mothers don't always have the finances to, invest in their emotional care. And many times it just goes unmet. And that's where they end up coming in my group 10, 20 years later, because they never dealt with this. So, I really would love to see the adoption agencies include this in their services, so that after a woman places, she can know that she's going to be met with some loving post-adoption care, and be able to have that provided for her.
Right now, boy, the fee is horrible. You do a lot of these items. You volunteer your time, don't you?
Yes, most of the work that I have done so far has been free. And, I've learned so much. Every woman that has told me their story and has trusted me with their story has taught me, as well as I've tried to help encourage them. And you'd be surprised at how much just knowing that someone cares and someone is a heart with ears willing to let you speak and let you share your story, how beneficial that is. And now, a lot of the work that I do is just initial, but these women would love to have, more calls and be part of the workshop. And that's why I really hope to see that this type of care becomes the normal part, of an adoption situation.
Is there a story of how someone else?
I'm sorry, Cindy, I didn't hear that.
I know the feedback is horrible. Can you share a story on how this has affected just one person? Just share. I know you have many stories, but can you just share a short story of the different?
Sure. Sometimes I reach out to women and they come to me and, we have conversations back and forth, and then I don't hear from them again. And, you're just not really sure what kind of impact that might have had. And sometimes it even seems like, people just use up your time. And I've had so many women come back that I've invested a lot of time in, that maybe I didn't hear from in a while, that have said, you have made such an impact in my life, and you helped me to see my story from a different perspective. And I think there's so much power in that. When you can choose to step back and see your story from another perspective, aside from the one that maybe you're just stuck in, it can help you really move forward in life. And that's where, when I hear back from these women, or the women in my support group, many times they'll share, thank you so much. This is such a safe place. We've tried other groups, and, sometimes people are still stuck in the healing, and they're bitter and angry. And unfortunately, when you're leading a group from that perspective, it doesn't encourage the members. And that's where I'm very grateful that the members in the group, they do appreciate the time and effort, because running a group is a lot of work, and I have one person that helps me. She's helped me from the beginning. I trust her dearly. And without her, I couldn't manage that amount of people at one time. And, that alone, I think is super helpful and beneficial, just having that safe place for people to come and share their heart.
Well, Kim, with your wonderful ministry, do you have current needs that you would like people to know about?
Sure. I'd love for people to, share the word about Birth Moms Today. If you know someone that has placed a child for adoption, tell her about Birth Moms Today. Tell her there's a support group where she can come and share her heart, because even the best of friends can't always meet the same need that another birth mom can. This is a hard journey, and we need to walk it together. If you are with an agency or know of an agency that's looking for personalized care for their birth moms, tell them about Birth Moms Today. We have a program that's already in place, and it's online and virtual and ready for women to come and be loved and be encouraged and receive the help and resources that they really need to be able to move forward in their lives.
Okay, so there's two ways that people can help. One is they can let their friends and people they know about Birth Moms Today, and we will put that information down below where you can easily share it. And the
Thank
other
you.
is to have adoption agencies reach out to you that so they can use your program.
Yes, that would be great. I'd love to see every woman that places be met with that kind of care. I mean, that's my goal. And that and changing how society views this. I will work passionately at continuing to raise awareness and to create resources that, meet these women where they need the help the most.
I love it. I really feel
And
like
I didn't get a chance to share what actually led me to you. And that was I was looking for a gift for these women that after they place, they can still feel close to their child. And when I came across your necklace, it met that need. And I was just overwhelmed with just like the idea that each woman could still have her child close to her heart. And the fact that there's this little birthstone. And I have this one here is for my son. He was born in June, and I have his birthstone, on mine. And I always love to share with these women that, this is a really nice way that even though you do have to go forth in life and you're not always there, it kind of keeps you connected to your child. And I love, that I came across this pendant and this gift, and I tell people about it all the time.
thank you. I appreciate it.
You're doing a great work too, Cindy.
Thank you. I wish I didn't have this problem with the sound though. But Kim, it's been wonderful to be able to interview you. I love what you're doing, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that we've connected.
Me too.
And I love that there is support and love for other women out there.
Me too. I love that we're on a similar journey. So thank you for all that you do, because you give them something that keeps them connected, and that's a really special gift.
Well, thank you, Kim. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.